Hi guys, and welcome to this webinar. I'm going to read using dice. This is a completely brand new experience for me using these dices. Let's see, here we go. And I'm gonna use the tarot cards where it's very necessary to support the readings. You might see me just looking down. That means that I've laid a few extra cards to support the dice reading because this is the first time. This is the very first time I am reading with them. So
okay, I'm going to start with Rita. You are living with your mother in a confused setup since your father passed away. You had all kinds of dreams and omens to rent this old house. You made the first payment, but you have no steady income and you are worried about your finances, and this place needs minor renovations and you haven't been able to move in. So let's cast the dice. So Judgment, King of Swords, and Ace of Swords. So first of all, I feel like you are where you're meant to be right now. The Judgment card is said to wake you up in some ways, and it could be to show you what you're meant to be doing. So the Judgment card is often a symbol of someone's highest calling. And you also get it with King of Swords and Ace of Swords. So that means that you have skills. You need to organize yourself. You already have the skills set there to support yourself. So when you get a king with an ace, that often speak of rapid success. So I think that there's going to be quick progress in this, but I think at the moment you are exactly where you're meant to be. I also feel like there could be if you're looking for love and romance, then this here, it's nearly an arrow of love. You just need to, so if you were looking for love, then this also is a sign that romance is not that far away, or more romance is coming in. But you need to open up your heart a little bit. That is obviously easier said than done when you're very stressed. But at the moment, I feel like you are where you're meant to be for healing, purposes, and to teach you to trust as well. Because at the moment, this I feel it has been taken care of by divine order, and it will happen the way it's meant to happen. With strong cards like this, King of Swords, that's a strong card. It's an assertive card. It's a strong personality often as well, and especially with the Judgment. It speaks of a strong leader. So I feel like you need to be in some kind of leadership role. That's what I feel, and where you get to make the decisions. Okay, which one is the next one? Okay, so the next one is Jill. You would like to get some feedback on a problem where you lent someone a lot of money. Now they're not paying you back. You have handed him over to debt collectors. He maintains he has no money or assets. Will there be any hope for repayments of his debt? Let's look at what the dice say. I do feel like it's definitely the right thing to do the debt collector. That could work. But what I also feeling is this personality. I feel is someone who's very good at getting away, and I think he's thinking of ways of getting out of this. And he could be filing for either bankruptcy or move overseas or do something like that to try and get away. And I do feel like, he could be definitely heading for bankruptcy, this person. And I don't know what the law says then in regards to paying you back, if you have to take him to court, or it just feels like this guy is it just doesn't feel like he's going to really pay you back willingly. I almost get that he wants to just like go overseas and run away from problems, and that's, I get kind of that sense with this guy. So I would see if you can get him to before it gets to that, see if you can lock in a repayment plan with him. And I think you could even get some government help or from a government agency to do that. So that's what I'm getting here for you. Okay, let's do the next one. So the next one is Jane. And let's see, where did I put your, here it is. So Jane, you are in a long distance relationship with someone who is a celebrity. And you want to know if he is a celebrity. He says he is, because you communicate through emails, text messaging, and he reached out to you, like he found you on his fan page. And it's a few red flags showing up for you, and you want to know if this is a real thing or not. So you gave me your date of birth, so you are a 6 life path, and currently you're in an 8-year cycle. So make sure that sometimes in an 8-year cycle it actually can be a very successful year for us financially, but it can also be a lesson, a bit of a harsh lesson financially. So what they're saying for you now, I feel, is to seek stability. And I feel like this relationship here is not giving you any stability. But let's do the dices and cast some of these for you. So, okay, so 3 of Swords with 7 of Swords can mean that he might not be who he says he is. And you gave me his date of birth as well, which makes him a 7 life path. So if he is who he says he is, being a 7 life path with a 6 life path, which is you, is challenging anyway. So I don't think this is a relationship that will give you stability, because at the moment I feel like this situation can create some hardship for you. That can even take a toll on your health a little bit. So I would be very careful. I think you're someone who's very dedicated, and you do have you have a lot to give. It's just about giving to the right person who's worthy of you. What you could do, you can ask the creator of all to make it really obvious for you what the real situation is, that you see it in a way that you can take appropriate action, that you get all the answers, and that you know what to do. Because at the moment you're kind of living in hope, and hope is when it's just hope and no substance or no real, nothing really to hang on to. It can become just a very, it can just be a very difficult situation where it can take, like I said, it can end up taking a toll on other areas of your life, they're saying. All right, let's do the next one. And this is from Andrea. And you are at a crossroad. You need to make some decisions. Should you stay where you're living now and take this current job opportunity, or should you move on and look elsewhere? Let's have a look what the tarot dice say. What's the advice here from the tarot dice? Okay, so Strength and 3 of Cups. I feel strength is leaning more towards staying where you are now, because it often means being strong. And if there's been some kind of hardship where you are now, especially if you've been wronged in some way, some people been maybe been treated badly by someone, maybe you want to run away from problems. I feel like running away at the moment could leave you a bit emotionally dissatisfied, because I feel like you need to face this. And I feel like long term that could be better for you. And I'm not saying don't be an adventurous person and go after your adventure, But maybe at this time might not be the best time, because I feel like at the moment you need to face what's going on with courage. And I also feel like this job opportunity could actually be a very good opportunity for you. I feel like you're gonna do well in this job. I do feel that. And I also feel like at the moment you've been very confused. And while in a state of confusion, it isn't always the best time to make a big move. It can actually make things sometimes a little bit worse and bring in more confusion. I feel like you're a stronger person than you realize, and this is a lesson in you finding out just how strong and capable you actually are, and that will serve you well, I feel, because you're going to end up in some kind of advantage position, I feel, and it's good to have that that life experience where you know you're resilient and you can depend on yourself. So that is that's what I feel the dices are saying. So I wish you all the best, Andrea. Okay, so this is from Reggie. Where have I got your question, Reggie? Okay, so your issue is with career opportunities. You're feeling stagnant. You've been waiting patiently for quite some time. Do you see Wheel of Fortune turning for you right now or anytime soon? Let's have a look. Okay, so with Five of Cups, with Knight of Wands, it can mean that you're feeling very restless and maybe you have a bit of impulsive personality. So this situation, I feel like, has taught you, it's teaching you perseverance and strength. And it's also teaching you to know what it is that you actually want, because I feel like that has been the block, not knowing what you want. And Five of Cups can also mean if there has been any disappointment or issues in a relationship, then that could have affected this situation as well. So maybe there's a bit of healing needed in personal relationships. But I do feel like there's a rapid awakening happening around you at the moment with you. Like you are the one awakening and you starting to know what you want. And there I do feel with this card combination especially, 5 with Knights. If anyone studied with me in the arrow scores, that is the arrow for change and new opportunities and doors opening. So even if it is 5 of Cups means, disappointment, that energy of being disappointed actually opens door. It pushes doors open because it creates that need for a strong need within the seeker for change. Sometimes those opportunities don't show up, even though we do really want opportunities. But with Knight of Wands, that means there's an opportunity there. But it's going to be, you're going to have to take a big step with this, because with Knight of Wands, it often means sometimes moving. So you could be moving, and sometimes with Knight of Wands, it also means moving overseas as well. So you could it could end up being a big move for you. Once you know what you want, and you actually know in your heart what it is you want, all those blocks, they just disappears, and there's no fear. There's no fear moving forward. Okay, so Stephanie, will I ever find what makes me happy? Okay, let's find out. I'm closing my eyes while I do this. So with Knight of Cups, with the Hermit, I feel like it means you need a certain type of environment to blossom, and you need some time alone as well to have balance. And I also feel like if someone put a lot of stress on you or high demands on you, and that person could potentially even be yourself in the way you're thinking about things, that can kind of take the joy out of things and also make you very tired. So at the moment I feel like you need a bit of rest and time out. I do feel like there's been you've had an awakening early in life, and I feel like meditation you benefit from that. I feel like with Knight of Cups, you're creative as well. And with the Hermit, you're someone who can reach a high level in anything you do quite easily. But I feel like meditation really will benefit you if you can sit somewhere by yourself. But I do feel like there's a connection with the stars, sitting under the stars, or nature as well. You'll be able to draw in inspiration very easily. And I also feel like if you did, if you connected to the Creator, you might already do that naturally. I feel like you get a very strong connection very quickly and very easily. But I also feel like with the Hermit, you could be a bit of a teacher type, and you could be someone who could really help others, even in charitable organizations as well. But for you, it is the environment has to be the right one. And I feel like the environment will become really good. I feel like you're someone who you could be a very strong mentor and nurturer as well. I do feel that. And but at the moment, I feel like you need a bit of rest. Having a family and being able to nurture and love your family, I think is also going to do you wonders. I think any role where you get to kind of guide and bring more peace and happiness to the situation. Could be in a role as a parent, could be a role as a mentor, could be a role as working in some kind of charity that's very aligned to your beliefs. That would be beneficial to you. But I also do think that you're someone who needs a bit of time away from stressful situations. You need that balance. I think someone could have potentially had a bit of a negative effect on you recently, that you needed to have a bit of you need maybe a bit away from that person. And when it comes to work, I think you're someone who works best when you can work on your own as well. When I mean that, I don't mean that not having anyone like to work with, but it has to be that you have a lot of self-determination in what you're doing. So you get to make a lot of the decisions. So for people that have strong independence in their personality, I feel like they do really well when they get to work for themselves. So that's something to think about as well. So let's do one last one for everyone. How should we finalize this? Is there any advice for all of us that the tarot dice can give us? I'm just going to pick one. And I get Knight of Pentacles. Don't be so afraid to change your routine. Don't be so afraid to change up something in your life that is maybe maybe you have felt blessed. I talked a little bit about blessings in my one of my videos, because blessings are actually harder to break than a curse. So for example, if you have had struggled with finding a job, and let's say you get a job and you feel very blessed to have that job, but maybe you outgrow the job and you're ready for something new, and then that feeling of blessing can actually stop you then. So this is about allowing ourselves to move forward, allowing ourselves to have something new. But to have that, sometimes you need to know how to let go as well. Sometimes Knight of Pentacles shows up also when it's time for us to move. So look into your attachments to where you are living at the moment. If you feel like you have completely outgrown your life and you feel like you're just kind of repeating the same thing over and over, find out what you have to let go of. So let's do it like a general. What does most people have to let go of to move forward? So it's 3 of Wands. It's preparation. When we're in a role where we're very comfortable, where we know everything, we're kind of on top of things. Maybe we're not growing very much, but at least we're on top of things. So it's like that comfort as well. But with 3 of Wands, it's all about preparation. Preparation is the most important thing. So if you want change, ask the tarot, instead of asking, you know, what's going to happen, when will it happen, ask, how can I best prepare? How can I best make this a reality? I know I got 2 of Wands since I asked, how can I best prepare? And I got 2 of Wands, which basically means you have to let go of something, let go of, have to change your mind about something. So if you really have a strong mindset and, you know, it's like you have to let go of one option for a better option. But sometimes if you kind of made your mind up and you're a bit strong-minded, then, you know, that can be a bit difficult. But it's like another option presents itself that is better. So it's like, it's about being able to grab the new. That is something we have to be able to be a little bit discerning, because not every opportunity is going to be a better opportunity. So maybe we can send out a prayer to the Creator, and how we can end this webinar. So Creator of all that is, give us discernment on opportunities, which opportunities are for our highest and best, and that we know when there's an opportunity we're meant to take, we know how to move forward in the highest and best way with grace and ease. And thank you guys so much for participating today. Bye.